I think that the betrayal by Jessica is for Shylock the hinge in the development of the character, the hinge of the play. He's prepared to go in one direction until that point, and from that point on, he's going in another direction. He's prepared to seek assimilation. He's prepared to find accommodation. He's prepared to back away from an insistence on doing business in the usual way. He's prepared to accept the moral framework of his adversary. He's prepared to find his servant another job. He's prepared to make a compromise about his insistence on not dining with people who don't keep kosher. He's an entirely reasonable man, I think, until he comes home and finds that Jessica has disappeared along with his money. Then he goes bananas. Then he goes berserk. And he can't come back from it. He's on a trajectory that he's locked into because of who he is. Part of the theatrical tradition that was going on at this time was commedia, and was the whole series of stock characters that Molière began to mine in the next century. And one of the key stories that Shakespeare was using was the story of the repressed, locked up daughter of the overbearing, controlling parent, and her need to get free and follow her heart and marry the man of her dreams. And it's a stock comic device. And I think in large measure Shakespeare's audience would definitely have been rooting for Jessica. But because Shakespeare is Shakespeare, we not only see Jessica and Lorenzo in the fifth act in the moonlight, enjoying music, and Jessica assimilating into the Christian world, and the Christian world accepting her with no hint of racial bias, with no hint of anti-Semitism, with no hint that because she happened to have been raised a Jew, that she's any less worthy of being a part of their society now that she's become a Christian. But because Shakespeare is Shakespeare, we see the other side of it. We see how it destroys her father. How the thoughtless extravagance of spending 400 ducats in one sitting, or trading a turquoise ring, she had to know what that turquoise ring meant, for a monkey. We see the other side of it. And it's interesting, Tubal, the name Tubal, is related to the concept of chaos. It has that connotation in Aramaic or Hebrew, in one of the languages from which it comes. I forget the specifics. And that's precisely Tubal's function in that third scene that Shylock is in. Tubal comes in and sows chaos for Shylock. He whips Shylock into a frenzy. He alternates. Jessica did this with your money. Antonio is in problems with his finances because of this. Jessica did this with your money. Antonio is really in trouble because of this. He ties the two together in Shylock's mind. He seems really to be inciting the connection of, if you want revenge for this, get it with Antonio. Yeah, and yet a lot of productions play Tubal as a really sympathetic, I think the last production the festival did, Tubal was the observant Jew and Shylock was the secular Jew. But the only time Tubal appears is in that scene, and what he does in that scene is drive a red-hot poker into Shylock and get him firmly headed on the path to revenge.